Hello, my name is Debora Meehan, and this is Colonics Talk. I am colonixlady.com. Thanks for visiting with us. We have some really good information. Of course, every time we are on here, it's unbelievable. And so, my friend Jessie will be teaching us today. More than me teaching you there. And she is going to describe the existence of energy, mathematics, science, coming from a word that's always been around and that God created. Just remember, God created science. God is science, okay? This is not junk science, this is science. So everything we're talking about is going to relate to spirituality. So please keep that in mind, and it's going to relate right into my favorite subject about colonics and stewardship of the temple. And I didn't even know this existed. It's interesting how God has taught me the existence of what He's given us, principles and blessings and all that, but not having a secular education has kind of been fun because I had no way of knowing these things existed, already have been talked about. I mean, and I'm just experiencing them. So I'm doing it backwards. My schooling is very different, and I'm very thankful because I was already doing it. And God told me. So He'll tell us. We don't have to necessarily be educated all the same way. And we're living it, and just this is going to be special. So thank you, God. And we're ready. Jessie, you go ahead.
Okay, so
What is the word? This is the word.
the word.
Now we'll just tell you. I'm going to let her tell you why I know this word because she was told to tell me. Okay, so you tell that little story.
Okay. Yes, I have heard this word in my past.
She's smart
in
too.
School.
She's real smart.
And it got mentioned again somewhere the other day, and I thought, oh, I need to tell this to Lee because I know it has something to do with colonics, and I know she'll know exactly how it relates. And so the word in the simplest term, the word is entropy, and the simplest general explanation of that is a lack of order, or is actually a gradual decline into disorder. However,
of something that's already existing and always will and always has, right? Until we're not here anymore.
Yes, because total energy,
it's energy
in the universe cannot be created or destroyed by man.
Thank God.
Total energy's there, but it affects matter. It's moving around. There's laws of thermodynamics governing aspects of what's going on with.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead with that in mind.
With that in mind, and I'm not a physicist. I just
no, but she's smart.
Physics long ago, so
she's reading it. She's got got information, and her brains have already learned it.
Yes, it has. So anyway, so I'm going to read some of the more specific definition of what we're talking about, and then Lee's going to share as we go how this relates to colonics. So the second law of thermodynamics states that the entropy of an isolated system never decreases over time. Isolated systems spontaneously evolve towards thermodynamic equilibrium, the state with maximum entropy. Non-isolated systems, like organisms, may lose entropy, provided that their environment's entropy increases by at least that amount so that total entropy increases.
Okay, so we're going to just think of the body. We're talking about the body here because this can be anything in nature that God exists. So we're going to the body with that. So that makes total sense. Go ahead.
And this is actually what we just said there about the environment's entropy.
The environment of the whole body inside, internally, stewardship of the temple. Okay?
Right, but you had a thought on this about parasites.
Oh, yeah, because of the organisms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it slows down the organisms. See, let me just say this. You can eat as good as you want, and you can do all the right things, but you don't wash it out with the water that creates that movement in there, they're taking over. This totally explains it. And I go round and round with people because, oh boy, they don't want to get that, have to do anything to their bowel. But no, even the top professionals, that will have to be done if you want to change this.
And in this instance,
dynamic.
The parasites, which or what you said is it's this here. They are the organisms that can lose entropy, which is lose decline.
So they lose their energy.
Provided that the surrounding environment entropy increases.
The body's is in alignment with what we're supposed to be doing, washing it inside.
And
right?
So the body's entropy, if it wasn't getting washed,
you'd be increasing. A victim. You would be a victim.
Right. Mm-hmm. So continuing on, total entropy in the universe. Oh, wait a minute, hang on a second. Entropy is a function of the state of the system, so the change in entropy of a system is determined by its initial and final states. In the idealization that a process is reversible, the entropy does not change, while irreversible processes always increase the total entropy.
So we're on a steady decline at all times because we're aging.
Right.
But we are aging so fast that if we practice stewardship of the temple, it slows it down so much. And that's what I noticed with people. You will turn young. I don't care. And I don't care about looking young. It's not all about that.
It slows down the entropy.
Right. It slows it down. And you will not grow old as fast. That's why older people that didn't have drugs and parasites and inundated many years before still looked like little kids when they were old. That's what this is saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I learned when we were cleaning bowels. I was like, I have ladies in their 60s that they were going to push down my door and get in here, whether I liked it or not.
Oh, listen to this.
They knew what was happening to them.
And for this, they knew it was happening to them. But guess what?
They couldn't explain it.
For this reason, this is funny, it is often said that entropy is an expression of the disorder or randomness of a system or the lack of information about it.
There you go. So you keep the people ignorant. They don't know it exists. And boy, that is my soapbox. You got it? I don't care if you like me or not. You better listen if you want some really nice health. And God already was telling us. So.
All right.
I'm just the voice box here.
Interesting. The concept of entropy plays a central role in information theory. The second law of thermodynamics requires that, in general, the total entropy of any system can't decrease other than by increasing entropy of some other system. Okay,
so the only way the parasites can not increase is by us keeping our movement within our body. There you go. Right? Is that what you just said? Mm-hmm. That's what you just said? Okay.
Hence, in a system isolated from its environment, the entropy of that system tends not to decrease. So in this case, the isolation from the environment would be not having the water needed in the environment.
Correct. Everybody's totally dehydrated, just so you know.
It follows that heat can't flow from a colder body to a hotter body. Oh, here we go. This is, she knows what to tell you here. Without the application of work, the imposition of order to the colder body. Secondly, it is impossible for any device operating on a cycle to produce network from a single temperature reservoir. The production of network requires flow of heat from a hotter reservoir to a colder reservoir.
Yeah.
Or and this was what you were sharing about inflammation.
Oh, inflammation, yeah. So when you have the heat inside of you, we can put warm water in you, but everybody's already inflamed. If you have dental work done and you're taking any kind of drugs, over the counter, prescription, I don't care, you are inflamed. I had a carbon monoxide poisoning. I was for 9 months, burnt inside. It's amazing. But that inflammation, when I put colonic water on, over time, and I see that with people with cancers that are ready to go to their deathbed, they'll just walk right off their deathbed every day. We'll do 2-3 colonics on them, and that movement of the water, of the cooler water, it's going to be cooler water because you're so inflamed inside. It's still going to be 98, but that's cool on something that's burnt inside with all that inflammation. Inflammation is made by something. Inflammation isn't the woo-woo. It's called taking drugs, having dental work. So let's get out of that, people. Wake up. So that's going to cool it off. And when it cools it off, the people just, thank you. Their eyes open up. Their skin gets hydrated again. It is like a miracle. But and I know it's God's miracle, but God doesn't mind. He's the one that told me to do this. And we're supposed to do it. We don't have to wait for revelation for him to heal us. He's told us to do this. It's in his word. Come on. This is where the Christians, it's not, I'm not taking anything away from God sharing this. He's the one that booted me in the butt and told me to go talk. And it's not the easiest thing to do, too. So remember that. And anyway, that's what it is. Just think science.
Yep.
Entropy, right?
Entropy. And so exactly what you just said with inflammation about reducing the colonics. So the colonics are removing the inflammation in the body, and inflammation is heat.
Correct.
By nature, it's hot. And so that's what we just read here, that heat cannot flow from a colder body to a hotter body without the application of work.
Yeah, and there's got to be work done to reverse it. And the other thing is our liver and the thermostat for our bodies is it's in the liver. The liver does that work, and that's a thermostat. But I think it's a thyroid function in the liver. Anyway, when the liver gets all messed up, which is going to get all messed up when the body's inflamed and stuff, that's why people are cold and hot and cold and hot and cold and hot. I went through that with
from the liver?
Carbon monoxide stuff. I was freezing and hot, and then you go into air conditioning, you go and to heat outside. Well, when I was younger, that didn't flip like that, but it did when I had the carbon monoxide, the inflammation in my body, because my poor liver was trying to handle all this and all my other organs. And I was a healthy person. And because this just happened like a year ago. But I knew that, that's temperature. So that'll all correct itself. If you're taking hormones and stuff like that, you're messing up your body temperature. I have never taken hormones in my life, and I'm 63 years old. So don't think you have to. And I don't have crabby hands and all that. Just take the dental work out. That's all I had to do. And I never took hormones. So that's a FYI.
Another statement here. It follows that a reduction in the increase of entropy in a specified process, such as a chemical reaction, means that it is energetically more efficient.
There you go. And that's what your body will work like that. And you will not, when you're 60, you'll feel like you're 20. And most 20-year-olds don't even feel like they're 20. That's exactly what that is. And that happened to me in my 30s. I never felt good a day in my life till I cleaned my bowel. And then I felt like I was 3 years old, and I never felt that good at 3. That is how it works. And I see it with all my clients that do the full protocol.
Oh, this is interesting. Another way of looking at it, it follows from the second law of thermodynamics that the entropy of a system that is not isolated, was what we've been saying, may decrease. An air conditioner, for example, may cool the air in a room. I just like that there's more pictures here. An air conditioner, for example, may cool the air in a room, thus reducing the entropy of the air of that system. The heat expelled from the room, the system, which the air conditioner transports and discharges to the outside air, always makes a bigger contribution to the entropy of the environment than the decrease of the entropy of the air of that system. Thus, the total entropy of the room plus the entropy of the environment increases in agreement with the second law of thermodynamics.
So it's helpful. That's why you get some energy in, going from the heat to the cool. Yeah. But yeah. So we can do some nice things for ourselves, but sometimes you gotta be real careful with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't know what else to say. That was a lot of information. Thank you so much. And we will talk about this some more, I'm sure. Thank you for joining us, and God bless you, and do some research on your own. And we're really thankful to God for how smart He is and making all this up for us. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Education.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. You got it?